Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
You know, we have some very windy conditions out there since the hurricane has become larger. Wind estimates have just upped a little bit along the coastline. We're now going with a 20 to 30 mile per hour wind right along the immediate coastline with some gusts as high as 40, and we've come pretty close to that already. We'll start to see those wind speeds begin to decrease as we head into the evening. South wind now at 26 miles per hour at the airport. We have an 85-degree temperature with a heat index closing in on that 100-degree mark, so plenty of moisture in the atmosphere. 70% chance of showers through the afternoon. Water spouts are possible out on Gulf waters, and some of the storms are going to produce some torrential downpours of rain. Take a look at some of these data buoy estimates already. We're getting some reports of hurricane force winds near the coastline as the storm approaches. And closer to home, we've got some pretty strong wind speeds as well just offshore, 34 miles an hour, 27 miles per hour, even some that are exceeding tropical storm force earlier on. The center of the storm getting very, very close to making landfall right now, probably at Mexico Beach. It looks like is where it's headed, just to the south and to the east of Panama City. The strongest of the wind flow coming up right along Cape San Blas and moving into inland areas, producing just torrential downpours of rain as well as blinding winds. The center of the storm has a very clearly defined eye wall with large, massive convective turrets all around it. You can see the little vortices in the eye wall is spinning and perhaps even contracting just a little bit as it gets closer to land. It might have finished getting stronger at this point as we see that eye wall beginning to contract. It might be trying to develop a secondary eye wall, which would mean that it probably won't gain much in intensity. But even if it did gain another 2 or 3 or 5 miles per hour and became 7 miles per hour and became a Category 5, makes no difference. The damage that this storm will do is just going to be massive. We've got some storm reports already coming in from Apalachicola. We've had wind gusts of 76 miles per hour, a storm surge of over 4 feet. That was earlier today. Now it's exceeding 5 feet in many places, and gusts to 75 miles per hour at St. George Island, just around St. Mark's. Locally, some of the storm feeder bands are producing rain showers across our area. These are very fast movers. I mean, if you trace out over the last hour how far that particular cell moves, you can see we're talking about a 30-mile-per-hour storm, and that's pretty representative of all these cells. So very quick movers, and with wind speed starting to shift, we have a highly sheared environment, so again, water spouts are certainly possible on any of these storms as they lift northward. Right now, the heaviest of the rain contained within these cells is moving up just past Mayaca up toward Duet, and then we have some out in Gulf waters as well, but as fast as they start, they move on, so total rainfall amounts are not going to be all that much with these systems. As far as the threat for tornadoes go, identified by Storm Prediction Center, it's really north of us now. It has shifted further to the north, so we're even out of that marginal box. That is not to say that it couldn't happen, but it's just that the highest risk is in the Big Bend region. If you look at the forecast wind speeds, we are also out of that tropical storm force wind zone, so I don't expect to see that in our area. But look at the area covered by tropical storm force winds. This deep violet color is where tropical storm force winds are likely, and you're talking about a 500 square mile area of tropical storm force winds, so just tremendous power with this system. If you have relatives in Tallahassee, maybe your kid goes to school there, it does look like the threat of a hurricane force winds is reducing here in Tallahassee. It's now at about 20 to 30%, but certainly a large area of the Florida Panhandle and even Georgia will see some hurricane force winds as we progress through the afternoon. Our wind speed still up there, coming in at 25 to 30 miles per hour along the coastline and shifting as we head into the afternoon to a more westerly direction, but also those wind speeds will start to reduce. So I think the next tide coming in will probably be the highest of the tides that we see today. 20 to 25 out on open waters, gusting to 35, might even be a little bit higher than that. Obviously, stay in port. We're talking 10 to 12-foot wave action out there. So any water sports not advised today. 70% chance of rain showers, windy today. Wind shift, draw in some drier air tomorrow. Rain chances start to diminish. And look, As that drier air moves in and the winds start to subside, nighttime temperatures dip into the 60s as we head into the weekend. Warm afternoons, cool, crisp evenings, right straight into the beginning of next work week. Scott?